Well, you can hear by the cheers that you still look good. Our very own Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Fred Cash,
Thank you.
Hiram Hazley,
Thank you.
and we have Sam Gooden.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here today, and of course, we're going to have our conversation on equality. Here we are listening to you today. It's 2016, but more importantly, back in the 60s, you all created the soundtrack for the civil rights movement, and I must say thank you. I must say thank you for that. So as you're listening to the Impressions music, you're hearing lyrics that are motivating people, Fred. You're motivating people to keep on pushing. We're a winner. Moving on up. When you all were in the recording studio, did you have any idea of what impact you would have on our country?
We didn't. We were so young then at that particular time. We didn't know that this music was going to have this kind of impact on the world, you know. We were just young guys, and Curtis was writing a lot of these songs, and we loved what he was writing, you know. So happened, here we are 50 years later, still doing the same thing and still loving it.
So let's for clarification. When you say young, are we talking 25 years old, my age, or are you talking about younger? How old were you at the time?
Well, I think I was about 17, 18. Curtis was about 13 or 14, somewhere in that area. We were very young.
Very young, and the impact that you had with the civil rights movement. People were marching, trying to get jobs, trying to have voting rights, and just trying to have better access to education. So let's fast forward a little bit, Sam. April 4th, 1968, the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. Where were the impressions on that date?
Well, we was headed to Daytona Beach, Florida. We was going to do a college there. And when we got there, there was a lot of disturbance out there because everybody was hooping and hollering and going on. We didn't know what was happening. And somebody said that Dr. King had just got shot. So we was going to cancel the show before about that time, but the guy said, well, what I'll do, you go ahead and do the show. We'll let you know how he's doing. And while we was on stage, every time we would finish a song, we would look over there, and he wouldn't say anything. He wouldn't say he was dead or anything else until we came off stage. We finished the show, and he said that he had passed.
Did you all get a chance to meet Dr. King?
The day we did that show, the next day we were supposed to go to Atlanta to Morehouse College, and he was supposed to present us with some plaques that day and to take pictures and stuff, but he died.
So for those who are actually listening across the web, you can't hear the hums in the crowd right now because they're going, you didn't get a chance to meet Dr. King. Fred, what would that have meant to you to meet him?
Would have meant a whole lot because at that particular time, he was just doing such great work, you know, and we didn't have a chance to get out and protest and walk like the other people were doing, but we did it through our songs, you know, with the Keep On Pushing, We're a Winner, Choice of Colors, Move On Up. But it would have been an honor. It really would have been an honor to meet him.
So let's switch gears when we're talking about honors. There was something that happened in the 90s. You got this big phone call, and it happened to be the information telling you all that you are now the 1991 inductees of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And here you are, the peers of the industry, finally recognizing you. And then you also know that Eric Clapton says, they're my idols. The Impressions, they're my idols. And now we are looking at social consciousness and the Impressions music. So, Hiram, let's fast forward. Maybe we'll be here. We might not be here. The young people, pretty sure they'll be here. 2066. Do the calculator. 2066. Will we have a need for social conscious music like the Impressions?
Yes, I think we will. You know, the society has grown a lot, but there's so much we still need to learn as a group, as a whole. And I think the effect that the impressions left on us is going to be with us for the rest of our lives.
So you know I gotta dig a little bit deeper. Fred, this next one is for you. Trayvon Martin, age 17. Mike Brown, Eric Garner, Black Lives Matter. Are we in a situation here in this country, are we mirroring the images of the 1960s? People of authority, people who are having their right to bear arms. Where are we in your view in this country?
There's some things that have changed for the better, but we've still got a long, long ways to go, you know. I see a lot of killing as far as the police are concerned. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some good police, but there's a few bad ones. They're just shooting and killing and asking questions later, you know. But a lot of these policemen are getting prosecuted at this point, you know, and I'm kind of glad to see that's turning around. But, hey, I just hope it gets better. We just have to work toward it.
Absolutely. So there was an incident, a performance. Did you all watch the Super Bowl 2016? Yeah, there was a performance. The name of the song, Formation. And I'm going to direct this question to Sam. Believe it or not, he actually watched the Super Bowl. The artist's name, Beyonce. Want to make sure that everybody hears that clearly. Sam, did you watch the Super Bowl? Let's get that clear.
I did.
And you saw the performance, Formation.
I saw that too.
So let's get a comment out of you.
Great show, right place, right time. I salute her.
Now, you all had a song called Choice of Colors. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And you all had a little, I don't know, little obstacle about performing that particular song, right, Fred?
Yeah, well, we was out in Los Angeles, California, doing a television show, the Joey Bishop Show. And we was doing a rundown like you have to do before the original show comes on. And the producer came out and said, hey, y'all can't do that song on this show. So we was just about getting ready to pack up and go when Joey Bishop came out and said, well, what is the trouble? Well, we said, the producer said we can't perform this song on this show. And he said, well, is that your hit record? We said, yes. That's our hit record. And he told us, hey, go ahead and sing it. And that's been some years ago, but I still love him for that.
I'm glad you had the opportunity to say that publicly. So here we are with TEDxChattanooga, and you used to perform back in Park City, MLK Boulevard, which at that time was 9th Street.
Yeah.
And, you know, what are your thoughts about Chattanooga now?
One of the prettiest city in the South. I'll have to take my hat off because when we left and moved to Chicago, people didn't say anything about Chattanooga. It was just a little hick town down south that sits between Nashville and Atlanta, surrounded by mountains and ridges and stuff, and just a valley. But look how it's bloomed and grew, and it's still growing. It's going to be beautiful.
Beautiful city. Beautiful, beautiful. My son always said, Daddy, why don't you move to Chicago or move to... No. I love it right here.
Yeah, stay
Beautiful city.
So I'm so glad that you say you love it right here. And since, you know, I'm going off the script here, would you love to see your likeness, a statue of you here in Chattanooga, Tennessee? How would you feel about that, Sam?
That would be even better than the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why? Because then my grandkids, my great-grandkids, my daughters, my wife, my uncles, everybody would get a chance to see this all their life. I would be gone and it would still be there.
That's really nice. Now you're going to make me cry. I got to keep this going. So I'm going to switch gears here and talk to Hiram. Are you all in the studio right now? And if so, what are you recording? Because we want to know. We are really nosy down here.
Well, actually, we recorded This Is My Country at the legendary Studio East in Charlotte. Beautiful experience. Tim I love him to death, and very wise at what he does, and I think it's going to be very good.
This was one of our old recordings that we recorded some years ago and had a hit on it. So with the way the times are today, we thought it would be appropriate to record it again and put it back out with a new spin on it. This is my country.
I love when you say new spin on it. Yeah. I like that terminology. And Hiram,
yes.
Are you all touring? Are you going anywhere anytime soon?
Yes, we're getting ready to go to London, Wales, and Japan.
London, Wales, and Japan. I think I'm available for London. I'm pretty sure I'm available for Japan, and we'll work out Wales. Is that okay with you all? Now, don't act like you don't know me when you see me. But we truly appreciate your candidness about our equality conversation, because it's not an easy conversation. Particularly, you have seen it forefront when people were marching and they were very, very upset. But you've seen this country come to a better place. Would you agree with that, Fred?
I definitely would agree, you know. It has come a long, long ways, but we still got a bit ways to go. And we just have to keep working at it, all of us.
So let's do a little agreement right about now, since I think I'm going to champion for you all to have a statue. And I think I'm well deserving to be the next female member of the Impressions. And I've been tuning in out back. And so we are going to have a performance debuting Nicole Brown with the Impressions. And I am so excited because we're going to perform together for the first time worldwide. Right, fellas? And I hear crickets. I guess that is my cue to ask you, will you do us a favor?
We'll do that.
It has been since 2007 you performed with the Chattanooga Symphony, along with Leroy Hudson and Jerry Butler, and we are going to beat the 10-year mark today, right? Right. Even though you don't want me to perform, I came dressed for it. We're going to ask you to perform right now for TEDx Chattanooga. Can we do that right now?
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the Impressions.
Get ready,
There's a train a-coming.
you don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith
To hear the diesels humming.
you just thank the Lord. So people get ready
For the train to Jordan.
picking up passengers coast to coast.
and boredom.
For there's no hiding place against the kingdom's throne. There ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind
Just to save his own.
Believe me now, have pity on those whose chances grow thinner, for there's no hiding place against the kingdom's throne. So people get ready, there's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the people coming.
You don't need no ticket.
You know, to ride this train, you don't need a lot of money. Doesn't matter what kind of house you have, what kind of car you drive. Fellas, it doesn't matter how good your woman looks. Ladies, it doesn't matter how much money your man makes. To ride this train, you gotta learn how to love. First, love God. Then love self. And when you love yourself, you can love your friends with all your heart, body, mind, and soul. And when it's all said and done,
You just look towards heaven and just thank the Lord.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.